should businesses approach backup and disaster recovery as a broader plan or broader strategy?
I always tell business, you cannot be 100% secure,
Okay.
but you can be 100% resilient.
Okay.
And that's where backup and recovery, and those two are tied together, is the main thing.
Okay.
So elevating that from, oh yeah, it's just a backup, the team is just in the basement, get a nice view, but also make sure that they are the ones that are going to save your business at the end of the day. Okay. By having that statement, but also having that mindset, you go in differently. So you will say, okay, it's not the last line of defense, and yes it is, but you will see that it will move up the chain. It will recover, it will get your business back online. It will make sure that you survive an attack, or it will survive in any other crisis, like the weather we have out there. It's changing, so you have to anticipate on that. So that's also why we say you need data resilience. Having resiliency, bouncing back, but as we say, bounce forward, because you want to learn from it. Not just bounce back to where you are. Okay, we learned something from it, so elevate and then move forward. That's the whole point in that, getting backup and recovery to a more elevated thing, because it is really important for your business.
What I can understand from you is that when businesses are making a data resilient plan, it should always be human-centric than the technology-centric, yes. Right?
That's what I always advocate, because people use processes. Those processes are being supported by technology. Okay. If you start buying technology without looking at your people, how your staff is working and how the processes are in play, you will see that there will be a mismatch. Then you all of a sudden have to change your processes, people have to learn new stuff, and change, really, as human beings, we're really bad in change. So if you have to change something, well, you don't have to, that's the whole point. So do it the other way around. Look at your people, look at your business, look at how you operate in your business. So then you will also see what platforms do have, what data is residing everywhere around you. How can you make a backup of that, but also how can you recover it?
Yeah.
And having that flow, people process, and that alignment, that will give you data resilience.
Exactly. It looks like, especially for businesses, a common practice is they are happy to make big investment for technology, but often they're not interested to make big investment for humans or the people. So it needs a big mind shift.
Yeah, it needs a mind shift in technology is nice, it's not a silver bullet. You cannot buy something with like a ribbon around it and it will solve all your problems. It would be nice. I will be the one to buy it as first thing. But it's about educating your people, getting staff. But that's also going back to your point, should you do it yourself or should you just outsource it? It's depending, do you have the staff? Can you educate the staff? Or should you rely on someone else?
Okay.
Pay someone else to keep your data safe. And by making that shift, but also those choices, and that's the whole point, you have to make choices.
Okay.
And by making those choices, you will get that in the right order. People, process, technology. If you do it the other way around, we have a conversation later on.
So I want to understand, what are some common misconceptions you see among businesses when it comes to all about backup, recovery, and security, it goes on?
I see too many projects still like, we're going to do a new data center, we're going to do a new application. And they ask, what about backup? Everyone, what about backup? Yeah, it's not in the project. So start about, okay, we have that data, how can we recover that platform? Instead of, we're going to buy a platform and then 6 months later, hold on, we have to recover something. Anyone thought about backup? So make that number one on your list. Making sure that you work your way backwards from like recovery until production. If you know that, that's also how you normally do a project. Make sure that before you go live, you already have backup and recovery in place. That if people start getting data into the system, that the system is protected. But yeah, in reality is sometimes people just start working with the system and then all of a sudden, can you recover that for me? No, we don't have anything. Or we're relying on something that was in the product. They said there was a backup, but it's not really a backup, it's a dump. So yeah.
So let's look into some myths and facts as we are talking about misconceptions. So what we often see in social conversations is that it's often said that cloud backups are more safer than the traditional backup. Is it a fact or myth?
There is a myth. As I always say, there are no bad guys in the cloud. Ooh, if you see me roaming around in the cloud, no, it's the same thing. You pay for another man's machine,
Yeah.
and that's called cloud. So that's a myth.